Julio, my oven, it is with bun.
But what will I tell my wife?
I don't know. But you'll leave her, won't you?
Of course not. Our love meant nothing. It was all a lie.
That's not true. I have charts. Julio, I'm going to perform a basic chi-squared test to prove to you that our love is significant.
Those are just numbers. They mean nothing.
Look, the p-value is significant at alpha equals 0.01.
I don't understand. It means nothing to me. Your math is too advanced and hard to get.
It's not so advanced. Here, I'll walk you through it. Here's a chart showing the amount of time you spend per week with your wife versus with me. And it also shows the things that you do with us, including boring things like shopping at IKEA, and exciting couple things like making out and watching Teen Mom 2 together. So what the chi-squared test of association does is it shows us if there is a numerically significant association between the two categories. So it's telling us basically if there is a correlation between which one of us you spend time with and how boring the thing is that you're doing. So first you do the expected counts. You get that by multiplying the row total by the column total and dividing by the total number of hours in a selected week.
Alright, so this one would be 23.09.
Yep, we would expect you to spend 23.09 hours per week watching Teen Mom 2 with me, but in reality you spend 31 hours per week doing that.
So how do we calculate chi-squared?
Well, you take the sum of every observed count minus every expected count squared over the expected number of hours. You try it.
So the first one would be 43 minus 21.56 squared over 21.56.
Yep, exactly.
Cool. Oh god, honey, it's not what it looks like!
You mother-licking wench-mobile! What do you want from me? You homewrecker, you didn't even check your conditions! How can you proceed in the chi-squared test without them?
You didn't check your conditions?
I'm sorry. I was in a rush. I wanted to prove our love was real in under 15 minutes, and I cut some corners.
Are these hours even from an SRS? Like, did you use random weeks, or did you choose which weeks you were gonna use?
I used a random number generator, I swear.
Fine. And is the total number of hours Julio spent with both of us greater than 10 times the total sample hours in your table?
Yes, I'm positive. It's independent.
You harlot, what even about your expected counts?
None of them are less than 1, and no more than 20% of them are less than 5. So they check.
Fine, then I guess you can proceed with your test, you lemon-faced toaster mallet.
Chi-squared is equal to 56.25. So now we're done?
No. First we have to find degrees of freedom. Degrees of freedom is equal to the total number of rows minus 1 times the total number of columns minus 1. So that would be 2 minus 1, which is 1, times 3 minus 1, which is 2. So 1 times 2 is 2 degrees of freedom. So, you plug that in.
The p-value, but what's the p-value?
The probability that chi-squared is greater than or equal to 56.25, given that the degrees of freedom is 2, is less than 10 to the negative 12th, which is way less than our alpha of 0.01.
That means the p-value is practically 0. So I love you more!
Good riddance, I would rather date a spider or a rat.
Shark, starting our new life together. Since I couldn't find a spider or a rat. But you're better than both of those things. I love you. I love you. I love you too.
Margarita, you've moved on already.
Well, what did you expect, you crumpet rocket?
But don't you have any feelings left for me? Any at all? I mean, most people spend 16 hours crying per week after their husband leaves them.
Really?
Yeah, look at this chart. Most people spend 16 hours crying, 4 hours eating ice cream, 52 hours watching MTV, 5 hours throwing things, and 19 hours buying things on the internet
Well,
after being left by their spouse.
I definitely went through all of that before I found Sharky.
Julio, what are you doing? I thought we were together now. She obviously doesn't care for you.
Hey, you toaster strudel! On a random week after I broke up with Julio, I spent 9 hours crying, 12 hours eating ice cream, 47 hours watching MTV, 1 hour throwing things, and 33 hours buying things off the internet! So don't tell me I had an easy time breaking up!
Well, maybe we should perform a goodness of fit test with Chi-Squared to see if you actually spent less time mourning your breakup than most people would.
Well, the population is greater than 10 times the sample size. All the expected counts are greater than 1. No more than 20% of the expected counts are less than 5. And the data comes from an SRS, so the conditions are met.
Huh. The Chi-Squared value is 33.1.
The degrees of freedom would be n-1, so that's 2. Or is it 3?
There are 5 categories.
Okay, then it's 4.
So it's
Shut
4.
up! I don't even care what you... Shut up. Anyway. What's your kid?
Look, uterus monster, just because you can't get your degrees of freedom right.
The probability of Chi-Squared being greater than 33.1 for 4 degrees of freedom is 1.2 times 10 to the negative 6th, which means the p-value is significant at the alpha equals 0.01 level.
Face it, you spent way too much time doing fun stuff like shopping on the internet, not enough time crying. You got over this breakup way too quickly.
See, I told you, Sharky. Let's run away together.
I'm so glad that's over with.
Me too. I'm really happy that we can just be together now. So, now that, we're in love and stuff, and it's not
Yes.
really a big deal or whatever,
Yes.
I'm not pregnant.
What? How could you do this to me? My life is ruined.
This is an outrage!
Honey, it's not what it... Sorry. Not what it
You
looks like.
mother-licking wenchmobile!
Well, maybe we should perform a goodness of fit test with Chi-Squared to see if you actually spent less time mourning your breakup than most people would. You whore? You got over this breakup way too quickly.
I told you, Sharky. I knew. Never mind. 1 sec. What am I supposed to say?
There's something to tell you.
What is it?
Well,
What is it?
I'm
The
not
baby's coming out.
actually
Oh my goodness.